Number three, well, the election is basically over now, folks, I think. No, we haven't even had the debate yet. That's happening tomorrow. But I think this sort of seals the deal for Joe Biden because the moment we've been waiting for has happened. Dwayne The Rock Johnson has given his endorsement. Watch.
Happy Sunday, everybody. We are approximately 5 weeks away from Election Day, arguably the most critical election our country has seen in decades. Now, that said, I'm going to be pushing this political conversation just a little bit more. Now, look, I've got friends in all parties, but the one thing that we can always agree on is the conversation and the dialogue, and where that conversation lands is always the most critical part. Now, this is something that I've certainly not done in the past, so I'm gonna go big. You guys know me. If I go big. So, guys, I had the opportunity to sit down with Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Kamala Harris to talk about a number of important issues that we're facing as a country. I thought it was a great and extremely productive conversation that we had. And as a registered independent for years now with centrist ideologies, I do feel that Vice President Biden and Senator Harris are the best choice to lead our country, and I am endorsing them to become president and vice president of our United States.
Okay, now just a few quick points, if I may. First, look, I'm in no position to body shame The Rock. He could quite clearly snap me in half with his pinkies, I'm sure. But at the same time, I do feel like the muscular physique gets a little bit absurd at a certain point. Doesn't it? Just you cross through a threshold at a certain point where it's like, okay, dude, just relax. Take it down a notch. I get the point. Just take it down a few notches. And I think The Rock is teetering close to that line. It's a little much is all I'm saying. That's it. That's all I'm trying to say. Second point, probably more to the point. Why did Joe Biden sit down with The Rock? I mean, and when did this happen? Biden has been working 2-hour days for the last 19 weeks. He calls it a lid on the day at 9:30 a.m. most mornings. And yet he had time to meet with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Is that why he was calling a lid? In order to have extensive meetings with The Rock? I'm imagining 5 or 6 hour long meetings every day for weeks on end, hashing out domestic policy, foreign policy, everything with The Rock. That's what I'm imagining. But as usual, my imagination has no connection to reality. Actually, because we have the conversation, here's what the conversation between The Rock and Joe Biden really sounded like.
You guys are both obviously experienced to lead. You've done great things. Joe, you've had such an incredible career. You've led, in my opinion, with great compassion and heart and drive, but also soul. And you and I talked about that in the past and how important soul is. And Kamala, I'm going to embarrass you just for a little bit because I'm going to talk a little bit about your amazing experience. And you have been an attorney, a district attorney, a state attorney, a U.S. senator, smart, tough. I've seen you in those hearings. And in my opinion, you are a certified badass.
Well, he grilled them, didn't he? He really, he held their feet to the fire. But he was also definitely, I hope you noticed that, he was definitely reading all of that information about Kamala Harris. He didn't know anything about her. He was saying, Kamala, I know so much about you. I've always been a huge supporter for your whole career in the Senate. Yeah, big fan of Kamala Harris there. I mean, but in fairness to him, and this is why I give him credit, I think he is a pretty good actor, to pretend that you're a big fan of Kamala Harris, that's no easy task. So that's probably his greatest acting moment, I think, was right there. Number 4, in more celebrity news, singer John Legend says that he and his wife, Chrissy Teigen, are thinking of maybe leaving the United States if Donald Trump is reelected. Now, as many have pointed out, this seems like a bit of an idle threat considering they apparently just bought a $17 million mansion in Beverly Hills. Not the kind of thing you do if you're planning on fleeing a country because it's become a fascist wasteland. In fact, not the kind of thing you could do, probably, if it was a fascist wasteland. But besides that, of course, you just have to reflect on the psychotic narcissism of these celebrities, that they think it's some sort of effective form of blackmail to threaten to leave the country. As if we're all going to fall to the ground, grabbing at their feet, like, no, don't leave us, please. We can't go on without you, John Legend. I don't think anyone's going to have that reaction. Even if you're a fan of John Legend, what do you care where he lives? What difference does it make? It's a little similar on a smaller scale. It reminds me of the thing that people do to me online all the time. It's a comedy. They probably do it to you too. But on social media, I get this kind of thing all the time on a smaller scale where someone will threaten to unfollow me or unfriend me because I express an opinion they don't like. And my favorite is when they say something like, I'm really thinking of unfollowing you now, Matt. I'm thinking of it. This opinion that's got me thinking I might unfollow. And again, it's as if I'm supposed to break down in tears and plead with them and say, no, I'll change, I promise, don't leave me. It'll be different this time, I promise. We can go to counseling together. No, it just doesn't work. The threat doesn't work. Nobody cares that much. Thank you for tuning into the Daily Wire, one of the fastest growing conservative media outlets in the entire country. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and a subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of our content.